Good afternoon, everybody. To- Today, I'd like to share a few points. There is Chinese people in Hong Kong, especially those who are young employers, like 30s, 40s. I think we are realistic person. We are very realistic and practical when dealing with helpers. I think several things to us is very important. I think whether Chinese or not is not the main concern. Our main concern to helpers is first is usually employers will expect the employee to be hardworking. That means the helpers, all the employers will like to see the employer. They will try their best to fix their home clean and tidy. And in fact, a lot of employers don't mind the helpers to have nap time if they finish their work. But it's really frustrating. For example, say some employer find the helper sit in the sofa, eat snack, and watch television, but the employer finds something dirty in the bathroom or found some spoiled food in the refrigerator. That's, it's hard to say. It's hard for the employer to feel this helper is a good Christian. To us, whether good Christian or not is not by listening and not by hearing that you go to church on Sundays, but by the daily, how we stay together, if they can see Jesus in your life. I think it's more practical and more convincing. And another thing, honesty is also very important. And no matter even old people appreciate that very much. There's one instance, employer give old pocket to the helper. And then the helper go back to the employer, oh, something in the bag I found. It is a gold bracelet. The employer is very appreciative about the honesty of the employee, and it shows she's really not greedy. And it seems if she keep it, the employer really does not know, and she can earn maybe 2,000 or 3,000 if she change it. But I think what she earned is more than that, because of the employee's honesty. The employer is very willing to introduce her to other employer when they finish the contract, and she often prays the helpers in front of other friends and relatives. I think it's much. It's worth much more than give money or what. And I think Jesus will appreciate that more. And also, humble attitude is also very important to employer. I mean is, in a way, first, I hope all helpers are willing to take the initiative to ask questions. If there's anything the employer order that you don't quite understand or you forget, you must be brave to tell you forget what your employer said, and can you please repeat again, like that, instead of just say yes ma'am, yes ma'am, yes ma'am. But turn out a lot of employees so frustrated to find that only less than 50% of the work are being achieved. So no employer will appreciate yes ma'am helpers. We only appreciate those who really know what their employer instructs and really work it out. And if you don't understand, if you cannot do it, say it and ask for help. Yes. And also, a lot of employers really rely on helpers very much. The employers are also naive to an extent that they will suppose, oh, I give you the time schedule, then I suppose you really follow the schedule to wake up to sleep. But I find out in most of the case, it is not. A lot of helpers look sleepy and their spirit seems come out of their body at daytime. A lot of employers don't understand why, and it really affects the image of the helpers in front of the employee, in front of the employer. Because the employer will only think, why is it she does not like to work for me? Is she lazy, or what's the problem? But I found it's sad that the the helper, if they are not willing to stay out or voice out they need help, for example, in management of time, that will do bad than good to the family. For example, one employer let the helper wake up at 6 o'clock, but every day she wake up before 5 o'clock for too many housework to do, and she did not organize the time well. And I think we also appreciate the helpers. They are humble enough to say sorry. To Chinese, verbal apologize is very important. If you do something wrong and the employers already see it and point it to you, you've done wrong at this point, and you just keep your mouth shut, it will give a very bad feeling to Chinese employer. They will feel hurt, and they will feel not being respected. And I know, as I talked to some Filipino and found maybe to a lot of Philippine culture or not, they feel, some people will say you seldom say sorry. You rather do the correction by action. But that is not the case in Chinese. We don't accept that. Verbal sorry is very, very important. And it's very important if you can say sorry before your employer say what you have done wrong. If you say sorry after she done wrong, you're already not smart enough. If she always point it out and you don't say sorry, you will get her angry. Okay? So I hope you will help your employer don't get crazy too frequently by saying sorry in an appropriate time. It really helps to calm down the employer's emotion a lot if you can say sorry. And they will appreciate that also. And I think another thing Chinese employer will appreciate is the high obedience of helpers. That means do what the employer instructs you. If you cannot do, you say it out. It is very important. And one more thing I think is peace often keep a happy face. Even if the employer is also not perfect, just like you, and even if they think something, no matter if that's true or untrue, maybe you're angry, please don't just do like that. It will make your employer really very frustrated and get more angry. Even you are angry in your heart, say, okay, Mom. And yes, I think it's good to tell God in your heart your anger and your unhappiness instead of show your bad face to your employer. Yeah, it's really really frustrating, I can say. And the last thing I think important to Chinese, being polite and let the employer feel being respected is very important, especially to the old people. If you can say the things in a polite way, it really helps a lot in reducing their anger. Okay, and often let them feel being respected. There is no matter if you want to take rest or if you want to. When you go out to buy something for the employer, you want to buy something for yourself, please ask permission first, instead of doing it and blamed by the employer. I think let the employer feel being respected is very important. Yeah, God bless you.